Well, Dave, we spoke briefly about it last time out, but a return to your former club this weekend, obviously a place where you've lots of happy memories, a lot of success with that promotion, of course. You're looking forward to going back?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, I think there's been a lot said since I left Hartlepool, and obviously this is the first occasion you go back. Regardless, I always enjoy going back to my former clubs. I've been fortunate enough to be successful at the previous ones, and this is no different. I get the feeling there was when I left to come here, and I've gone through decisions as to why that happened. But looking forward to the game, like I say, it's an important month coming up for not just us, for every club. The 6 league games we play in the next 30 days or so will be massively important, and we start by going to, like you say, Hartlepool tomorrow.
I mean, it can be quite a hostile place to go at the best of times as an away side, a really passionate fan base. I think you spoke a lot about it during your time there as to what a powerful weapon that can be, as it is here, of course. I mean, when you're on the flip side of that, on the receiving end of it, what's the best way of coping with that as a player?
Listen, I'm always been and no bit different really, is that I want to go and fight fire with fire as such, and want us to go and be on the front foot, and if that affects what happens in the crowd, then so be it. From our perspective, I know what they can give to their team, as you say, similar with our home fans. On the flip side, we've got as an away team, we're going to challenge that. You do that by trying to dominate the game in terms of how we start and where we play, and ultimately trying to win the game as quickly as possible and score early, and that changes momentum in matters on the pitch and off the pitch. So we're going to, like I say, look to continue what we've done over the last sort of couple of months in terms of how we go about things. Look to be positive, look to be on the front foot, look to get the ball in their defensive third as much as possible, as frequently as possible early in the game, and get that important first goal and build from there really.
There's obviously been a lot of external excitement surrounding the FA Cup over the last few weeks. You've got that big replay coming up on Wednesday night, but I guess from your point of view, there's always been the sense that this weekend's the priority. This game's been the main focus point, really.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose we've got to look at it in a slightly different way. This week becomes massive, with 2 really, really important league games and an FA Cup game sandwiched in between. We then give ourselves a week when we go into another really, really important league game, and then we have 9 days rather, which will give us time to hopefully recharge into the Boxing Day game. So, like I say, it's sort of little mini events, if you like. The 3 games, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday this week, are, like I say, hugely important, and without doubt everyone will look forward to the FA Cup replay and what that brings, but the 2 league games either side of it are hugely important for us, more important than what the game brings on Wednesday.
Just wanted to speak to you briefly on the news that came out last week, obviously, about Ash Palmer leaving the club. I mean, unbelievable servant, of course, and a great professional as well, but I suppose on the flip side of that, also a really good move and an opportunity for him to go to Chesterfield and play.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's about. I mean, listen, Ash, I spoke to Ash in length around different things in terms of opportunities and interest that's been in him, because obviously not being in the team over the recent past. This was an opportunity that he wanted to explore. From my side of things, although I suppose in a selfish way, you don't want to lose someone until you can potentially replace it in January, and when that comes, this opportunity might not have come round again for him. So he wanted to look at it to go and play. It then becomes out of my hands, if you like, in terms of the clubs agreeing a deal that suits both parties, and Ash agreeing his terms. All of that was done. And like I say, he goes with everyone's best wishes. He'll look to, I suppose, in a similar manner that I did, add another promotion from the National League, and he has a really good chance of doing that with Chesterfield. But most importantly, no one guarantees anyone of playing games, but he knows that a club there has wanted to bring him to their football club in order to play football matches. So he gets the opportunity to do that at his age. That's important. And I say he goes with everybody's well wishes, best wishes, always welcome back. Leaves himself with a lot of memories, but also has left memories for for people at the football club, and we'll always remember they've played a big part in what we did last season and the success we had.
His absence, of course, on Saturday, it gave the opportunity for 17-year-old Luke Partington to be part of the squad alongside Cody Johnson, Daniel Akrute. They might not have played, but how important, how beneficial is it for them to have that experience in terms of their pathway to the first team?
Yeah, hugely important, and there potentially will and would have been others involved. As I said, there's been a bit of illness flying around, not just the camp here, but the academy as well, so there was potentially other involvement that there could have been. The FA Cup with the 9 substitutes allows us to do that. Means that I suppose you can be pretty reactive in terms of how the game's going, and if the opportunity opened up to give any of them young ones that you mentioned some minutes on the pitch, then we potentially look at it. But the reality of it is for them to travel and be around the group will have a big impact on them, just in terms of expectations, how things are done, how they're expected to behave, and all them things. But they were all, like I say, they were all brilliant. With that, like I say, that competition, especially the number of subs, aids their development in a little way, in the fact that they can be involved, and I'm sure that'll be the case when the replay comes around.
Just moving on to injuries, obviously there was concern at half-time for Chris Hussey, substituted of course. What's the team looking like for Saturday?
Yeah, we've still, Sauce is a fraction short. Wednesday probably comes a little bit too soon for him, but we're hopeful for the following weekend. Similarly with Huss, he's gone for a scan today, just as a check really. He's not in significant pain, but there's something there, so he'll miss out tomorrow. Apart from that, like I say, we're in okay shape. We've lost some players. The illness in the camp that we had has gone, and thankfully clean bill of health in terms of illness rise rather than injury. And we'll go, like I say, with pretty much everybody involved to Hartlepool looking to win the game. But I suppose in the knowledge that we should have the ones or the couple that we have got out injured back hopefully within the next 7 to 10 days.
Those wide defenders have been so important on the run that you've been on. Chris has obviously been a calming presence on that left-hand side. How important is it now that people step up in his absence?
Yeah, that's I suppose the idea and the purpose of having a strong squad. I've said before, every single player in there will tell me that they should be playing, so somebody's opportunity will come about again, and it's their opportunity, responsibility to make sure they take that chance. But I think what the last sort of couple of months really has shown is the depth of the squad, and when we do have to make changes, be it forced or be it selections, that people can step in and do a more than adequate and a similar job to the ones that have gone out, and that we felt even when we were looking at the compilation of our squad at the start of the season, that would be a big strength that we potentially had over others, and that's proven to be the case. Just
circling back to Hartlepool for a minute, I mean, there's been quite contrasting forms between the two sides since you left. I think 9 wins in 50 league games since you left the club, 3 different managers, but Keith's obviously come in the last couple of months and just seemed to make them a little bit harder to break down. What do you make of the job he's done so far? Yeah, absolutely. Listen, they need some stability, as you say. Changing of managers, I think, over what becomes difficult is that when I suppose managers don't get time and you go through a transfer window, the recruitment of a large portion of their squad has been from a previous manager. When you are, I suppose, limited by a transfer window, you then have to wait till the next transfer window in order to make changes that you might want. But what they have done is they've got getting some players back from injury. It will absolutely help them. Like you say, it's been more solid, more compact, a little bit probably more pragmatic in terms of their approach to doing things. But regardless, as you said right at the start, we know that's a tough place to go. The supporters make it that, and we've got to go there fully prepared for a really, really tough game. But a game that, like I say, we have our own focus. We've got to go there and win. This is our last game in the second 10 fixture block, if you like, and 3 points gets us to a total that
would have been a minimum of us over the last 10 games. So hopefully that'll be the case. We know it'll be like I say, a tough job, a tough ask. We've just got to go there and do everything we can.
You mentioned in the past couple of months it's probably actually suited you playing teams that are going to try and play against you, the better sides. That the next 3 league games are against teams in the bottom 4. Is that going to require a different kind of approach from you?
Potentially. Again, you can't sort of preempt how teams will specifically play against you. We've just got to go in, from our perspective, be really aggressive and be on the front foot in terms of how we want to play. And whether that's through playing forward and being press and counter press, or whether that's being a little bit more patient in order to play through the thirds. You take every game on its merit. The one thing we have to do is we're going to try and start as quickly as we can. We're going to try and as best as we can, and difficult when you, especially 2 away games that are against the teams you've spoken about. But we need to go there and almost play like the home team and be aggressive. And we'll certainly do that when the third of those games comes around, when we are back at Edgeley.
Wish you the best of luck, Dave. Thanks for your time.
Cheers, thank you.